Good morning. Call to order Board of Directors regular board meeting, July 17th. At St. Louis Development Corporation. Good morning, Laura. May I have a roll call, please?
Sure.
You're on mute, Director Arnold, if you're trying to speak.
Good morning. Thank you. Present.
Thank you. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Director Gilbert.
Here.
Director Koenig.
Present.
Director McBride. Alderwoman Saunier. Director Spencer.
Present.
Director Young.
Present.
And Chair Halls.
Present.
Okay.
Thank you, Laura. All right, first up, in your packet, the minutes of the June 23rd, 2025 regular board meeting. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Director Arnold.
You're still on mute, Director Arnold.
Aye.
Thank you. Director Gilbert.
Aye.
Director Koenig.
Aye.
Alderwoman Saunier.
Aye.
Director Spencer.
Aye.
Director Young.
Aye.
And Chair Halls.
Aye. Resolution number 25, SLDC 1031, approving an annual administrative budget for fiscal year 2026, covering the period July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Any questions?
You're not gonna let Charlie tell us.
Comment.
Madam Chair, this is an annual resolution that's put before the board. It's usually done prior to the start of the fiscal year, but it has in the past drifted into July. The primary reason for that happening this year was because the meeting got changed because of the holiday in June. And both myself and Chris McGuire were not present to present it. Anyway, this is for the fiscal year, a budget for the fiscal year 2026. It is the same budget year as the cities, but we're not, SLDC is not part of the city. It's a 501c4, not for profit, and is not on the city budget other than it participates through the Port Authority in the city budget. The budget that should be attached, and if everybody got a board packet, it's attached to the resolution. I'll just walk through the pages with it. There's a title page. And by the way, this budget was presented to the Budget Committee at the Board of Aldermen, I think on May 22nd. It's the same budget, no major changes, just a few pronunciation edits that we did, but the dollar amounts are all the same. Although the budget, this is a courtesy that we normally do at the request of the Board of Aldermen, since we're so closely tied to the city. The title page, then there's a overview and highlight page, which just focuses on major things that are contained in it. The actual budget page itself is on the next page, on page 3, and it shows the approved FY 25 budget, the requested FY 26 budget, and then the difference. So in this year, and the revenues, the revenue portion of the budget is divided into three components. It's the black grant component, which is the first 6 lines, totaling 1,535,000. Then the SLDC agency component of 4,880,000, and then a big number of 9,048,000, which is further defined on page 6. But if I could talk a little bit about the revenue, the black grant portion is mostly annual fundings that we get from CDA. They, as you can see, don't vary a whole lot from the prior year. The agency portion, though, all these agencies of which are represented on the SLDC board, Port, LRA, PIE, IDA, LCRA, and LDC. These agencies were created in the 1950s through the 1970s, and they all had their own administrative staff. In the late 80s, under the Shamel administration, it was decided to combine the staffs of those development agencies, and hence SLDC was formed. That happened in 1989, and those development agencies maintain their autonomy. They meet monthly. They, if there's business, they have their own budgets. They have an administrative agreement that's entered into with SLDC. It's a 5-year agreement, and there's renew options in it. And there's a funding component in those agreements. Each agency will have to adopt the similar amount that's in this budget in order for this to be fully effective. And as far as the Port Authority being part of the city budget, did adopt a proposal for did adopt their amount contributing of 1.5 million, and that was done back in April, but the other agencies still need to consider that. The final number on there, the other number, is money that SLDC generates itself. And I mentioned that the purpose of SLDC was to combine the administrative staffs and do the basically the staff work of the development agencies. As time went by, SLDC applied for its own grants and received its own funds, and part of that is that number, that 9,048,000 number. That 2 significant programs contribute to that number, as you could see on page 6, but they are the New Market Tax Credit Program, which I think we have first applied for. That's a federal subsidy program that we applied for in 2007, and we've been very successful. I think we're the second most successful municipality in the country, if not the first. I don't know exactly in the number of awards that have been received, and then are brought before you as far as the allocation and where they go. The SLDC board approves all of those. We have a dedicated staff person, Bill Seddon, who runs that program. Very efficient, very effective, keeps his finger on what's happening, current trends, what they're looking for, and he gets feedback from a number of consultants that we use that are versed in the New Markets program and are paid for out of the New Market fees. So there's the consultants are paid for within the program itself, and the balance of the way we generate fees is on each tax credit closing, we receive 4%, and then we receive an annual allocation of 0.5%. The other large program that SLDC is involved with is the city ARPA program, which we received about 20% of the city's total allocation from the federal government. I think it's approaching 110 million. We use a portion of that to fund the staff that is associated with administering those programs, and those total in this budget of about 2.4 million. And the rest of the 9 million is identified on page 6. The expenses are listed there, and obviously our largest component is personnel. It's a $15 million budget. 11 million funds the 103 staff, or 105 staff, but only 102 are full-time, and only 91 positions are filled. There is towards the back of the report, there's a number of pages that detail our organizational setup as relates to that personnel budget. And I invite you to just look at that on your own. It involves a number of departments that are identified there. I can mention a couple that Rob Orr is obviously Otis is the head of the whole structure, and he works for our chairman, Nancy. But Rob Orr is a senior vice president and is in charge of major projects and development incentives and real estate. And Stacy Fowler is in charge of the compliance portion of the budget, as with regard to minority women, components on projects that do receive incentives, and at the request of other city agencies. And of course, Zach Wilson is in charge of incentives, Shelton Anderson in charge of real estate. I'm a support staff in finance. We have support staff legal. We have Stephanie Greasy is our chief of staff. So it's all spelled out in that table of organization. We have within the expense items, we have a payment to SLEDP of $1 million. This was approved by the SLDC board way back in 2013 and then renewed just recently, I think in 2023. The amount has not gone up. It's remained at $1 million, and they help support the loan programs that SLDC carries out for LDC, and who is represented by Laura Gilbert on the board. We're in our pencil sharpening. We reduced most of the expenses. We did establish a new certify office, which is located in the field at the Economic Empowerment Center. It has a staff of I think 5 people. Maybe one of them is still vacant, and we also have well, we have an agreement with the city councilor's office to provide us legal counsel. That's headed by James Morrow and his staff of 5 here. And then I think there's we consult with the main office, city councilor's office, and get charged a little bit for that. Like I said, most of the expenses have decreased. Travel, office rent, supply, equipment, office contractual, all decreased from the prior year, based on trying an effort internally to try to do that. The one that did increase is the office supplies and software, which we are trying to address as we go forward. That has a $73,000 increase for basically new software, but it contains a lot of small items that we are reviewing as they come forward, and we'll be hopefully not spending that $394,000 this year. But we have Simon Huang and Stephanie will be leading that effort to review software as people request it and make sure that it's able to comply with the ITSA standards of installation, and that it has not automatic renewals, but that we have to review these annually and see if they are still pertinent to what we're doing. The pages 4 and 5 just break down the expense items in a little more detail. Page 6 is the breakdown of the $9,048,000 revenue item amount. Page 7 shows our consulting. These are our administrative consulting contracts that went from $870 to $643, and there is a contingency in case new things come up during the year of $210,000. But those are identified, and if you have any questions, let us know. The part below are program-related expenses. I talked about the new market tax credit consultants. They're included in here, and again, they all have a funding source attached to them, so they're really not pulling out of the administrative budget. And I'm going to stop right there and open it up for any questions that anybody may have.
Did we give up a lot of office space that we could decrease the office expenses by that much? There really isn't an explanation of, did we go less space to save $300 and something thousand. It's a lot.
Well, the office space rent was tied to a financing of the improvements. And that financing was paid off, we paid it off over a 10-year period. So now we just share in the operating cost of the space, which is the utilities, et cetera.
That makes sense. It was just such a big number and a big pop.
Yes, I wish I could see that every year, but this was the year it popped up. Yeah.
I have a question. Do we have coverage for the expenses associated with our search for a new president? And also, the cost of, our prior president?
So that would come out of the contingency for
Okay.
consultants. I think we're just at the RFP stage.
Right,
There's the 200 there, and then there's an overall 200,000 contingency for the whole budget. So there's a little bit to work with there. We also anticipate savings in personnel over the course of the year. We have 91 filled positions and a budget of 105. And as
It's
part
going
of,
down.
yeah, as part of the page 6, you'll see salary savings of for unfilled positions and delays in hiring, et cetera.
right. You would expect that to kind of continue at that rate over time, so.
Yeah.
Pick that up. Okay, thank you.
And Charlie, since you're talking about the employees, obviously that's the biggest part of our budget. When you say there's 105 budgeted, 91 filled, of those 14, are those primarily related to ARPA dollars where they may or may not get reassigned or hired? And that's where you see that $700,000 difference on the gain on the revenue on the other section.
I tend to think that the ARPA positions are full. They might relate to partial ARPA. I don't know the exact answer to that question. I can tell you that under Stacy, I think there's vacancies in the Economic Empowerment Center. And there's also, they might have four openings at that location. If Stacy's on board, she could help me out with that.
I sure can. I'm here. That is correct. We have our business services advisor that's vacant. We have our contractor hub, but these positions are posted that is vacant at the moment. Our workforce development person for the center, and then our certified assistant for the certified. So that would be 4 positions that are not filled at the center right now.
Yeah, it's just when you look at the budget, look at years past and where we are right now, I think it's about 25% allocated to the ARPA funding. And obviously that is supposed to end December 2026. So I know that's going to impact this salaries portion of our budget down the line. So it's just something for all of us to think about. Love seeing the consultants being decreased so much. I'll speak for Laura on that one. Yeah, and I guess the 2 major ones are the marketing and the NGA. So that's good to see. Every year I've got to make a comment on the SLDP, that $1 million. We know that the LDC needs that funding to support their operation, and that's helpful to our businesses. But I would like SLDC to really look at that agreement and make sure that the outputs and the outcomes that we want to see are really benefiting our city. That's for business development. As I've mentioned many times before, I've used the services 10 years ago. It is not the same program that it was before. And I really would like to put, maybe a little bit more eyes on how that money is being spent and get some more reports back from their work.
Can I comment on that? We will be looking at it more closely, but I also want to point out that as you saw in your budget, that they do contribute back 200,000 to our certified programs out of the million. We are, I guess our balance now is about 800,000.
Yep.
But also over the years, through the first iteration and then the board then upping in 2023. It has stayed constant at $1 million instead of increasing through inflation. I think that over the last few years, we by design sort of withdrew with some of the coordinations that previously were there. So we have to figure out what role we want them to play, or if we do not want them to play, then we come back to the board. But there was value in their presence at one point. And one of the things that we want to do is to be able to refocus our efforts on the business side. Right now, we're sort of razor thin in our ability in-house to be able to contact and work with businesses. And so where we get multiplication in our effort is through that office.
Right.
But we will do as you are suggesting, which is take a total look at that and then come back to the board with a recommendation.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Then the last thing I had was the economic justice plan. You've got the economic development tax. I think it's about 600,000. There are a lot of wins for that plan from 2020, and I don't think we really report on, how we're matching up to that plan. So that might be another thing that.
Well, we will do that as well. Starting at our next board meeting, we will give you feedback on what we're doing and what the outcomes are from that.
Thank you.
Any other comments, discussion?
I'll just bring up a comment that has been brought back to my attention now about the workforce monitoring, the challenges that have been uplifted through head count. And I see that the software head count, I know it's not, some of the meetings that we've been in, I'm working on the name of, but there's one that they use in the county that's been more efficient. I know Ms. Fowler, do you remember the conversations we had about the challenges with head count?
The problems that we were having with headcount is that individuals were not selecting the correct wages in terms of prevailing wages. The difference between our system, which is headcount, compared to the county is LPT tracker. If we got that system, it would open us back up to us not being able to pay union wages and prevailing wages because they're locked in the system. We get them from the unions. But the issue that we're having is that individuals would not select the correct button so that they can lower their wages and not pay the correct wages, because the correct wages are in the system. So it's not the system. Whereas LPT tracker will allow them to put in whatever they want to put in, which is the issue we had prior to getting head count.
So there is a larger issue that we are reviewing
Okay.
with.
Yes, it is.
And so we owe the board an explanation or a report on this whole effort. And as we relook our entire effort here around how we monitor the participation of our underserved communities, we will be coming back to the board. Okay. But we're trying to sort it out so that we don't have to make multiple changes over the year, but we understanding what the issues are as we go about it. Some of this is going to be some very difficult discussions, both legislatively you know, and from a policy perspective as we move forward, just based on the directions, and guidance that we're getting from, the funders that we have at the federal level. And so with receiving federal funds come some, guidelines that we have to adhere to.
Anything else? Charlie, anything else?
That's all I have.
I do have one more question since we're here.
Sure.
The allocation of the ARPA money that the board approved in the last couple of years for hard construction projects. Do we know like what date people are gonna have to submit? Whether or not they're in progress of that construction, have the loans are gonna be able to finish by the deadline? And will we have an opportunity, enough time to reallocate those funds for something else? I think that's a budget related type question, but
It
mostly
is,
interesting.
it is also an operational one, and there's one that from day one coming in, we started to take a hard look at. And one of the frustrating parts about it is that government moves like an aircraft carrier. And the sense that we see it and it's moving, it's just not moving as fast as that we want it to. And we have to get all these approvals that we have, to acquire. And so, we are having that review, and that's another one that we have. You know, Charlie mentioned I think it's 109 million, almost 110 million, across the agency that we have. The one that has seen the most, light has been the Northside, grant program, but the others are also equally important, and we have to be able to ensure that we, can expend those. And so we owe a report to the board, on, what, those expenditures are and how we're going to get to the end. It's a challenge, and we recognize that, and we're gonna have to figure out how to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work on this, you and your team, Charlie.
Yeah, thank
It's it's a nice presentation, very comprehensive. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the number of decreases. Thank you for sharpening your pencil. Really.
So this one, we need to have a motion.
Motion. All right, we have a motion to approve the annual administrative budget for fiscal year 2026 in the amount of $15,463,000 from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
So move.
Second.
Director Arnold,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director,
Aye.
Alderwoman Saunier,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye.
If I could, I may have come in just a little bit late, but, did we acknowledge the fact that this is Director Young's first, meeting?
Not official.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's due some explanation in the sense that, Director Young has been serving, as the, sort of the vice chair of, the IDA board. And, Director Reed, who has been a member of this board, provided his resignation, a couple days ago. And so, we, invited, Director Young, who has been serving, in the capacity of chair, since, Director Reed's illness, to become a member of this board, and we want to welcome Director Young to the board.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And I think it's appropriate to say that we appreciate the service of Director Reed for all the years. I think when I came in 1998, he was associated with the agency in various roles and has served St. Louis Development Corporation in many roles, and we appreciate his service.
Thank you, Otis, and I might mention, Director Spencer suggested that we send flowers to Director Reed, which I think.
Whatever.
I think it's going to be very nice, something.
Yeah, we'll get something, done on behalf of, the agency and the board.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we were moving into executive session, concluding the initial regular session of this meeting. I thought we're going, are we gonna connect to it? Yes, this will be. Yeah, temporarily.
So. Yeah, so it would be appropriate to move to enter executive session pursuant to section 610(2)(1), 12. For matters relating to sealed bids negotiated contracts.
So move.
Director Arnold,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Aye. Director Gilbert.
Aye.
Director Koenig.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonier.
Aye.
Director Spencer.
Aye.
Director Young
Aye.
and Chair Hollis.
Aye. Welcome back.
I'm back.
To the open agenda, and may I have a roll call?
Sure. Director Arnold,
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Here. Director Gilbert.
Here.
Director Koenig.
Present.
Alderwoman Sonier.
Present.
Director Spencer.
Present.
Director Young
Present.
and Chair Hollis.
Present. Begin with
Director from.
the executive director's report. Otis?
Yes, I want to start by just saying, and pass out a lot of kudos to my staff who have picked up a lot of tasks during the course of the last couple of months, and some have doubled down and been very supportive of support for the recovery response to the tornado, and so which meant they're working very long hours, as has the city staff as well. But I just wanted to say thank you to all of our SLDC employees who have been very involved. So it's ranged from 5 to about 8 or 9 employees from SLDC that have been working. About 3 or 4 have been there, 24/7 to provide some support. So kudos to those folks, and a big thank you for supporting our city. So I want to start with just a quick update on where we are. It's not going to be very long here. So the executive recruitment has been underway. We did receive about 19 proposals.
Oh my gosh.
And so staff has a challenge here to get a summary prepared for our subcommittee. We have, I think, scheduled a date for you all to meet. And so one of the things I wanted to ask here today is if we could look at the availability of the search committee for Friday, if we could adjust it by an hour, maybe up to 12 for lunch. We provide lunch for that subcommittee. Could we do that? From
This
12
Friday?
This Friday, 12 to 1 instead of 1 to 2. And the only reason is that we are in fact participating in the ribbon cutting for 7th Street. And I may be the only one that knows that this started back in 2013. And we went through a number of challenges. I think in 2016, it finally really got a lot of oomph, and then it went silent for a while. And so now with the support of the corporate community, and others, the 7th Street connector has been completed or about to be.
I thought it was 2017, but I brought it back another 4 years.
They built the San Musial Bridge faster.
They did.
At least it's done.
So just as an aside, it started with an idea, and the people at the center of that idea was Craig Heller and Amos Harris, and they came to us. And so we went to the Missouri Development Finance Board to get contribution tax credits. They provided, it was one of the, they had $400,000, I think, left in the queue. They approved it for us, and that's when we got it in. And luckily, a guy named Bob Misery, who was the chair, or the executive director, worked with us, and we kept extending it, kept extending it. And finally, with the help of people like Bill DeWitt III and Ron Kraszewski at Stiefel and a lot of other corporate people, they were able to then use them to help raise private funds to help us get over the hump.
Andy Taylor.
Andy Taylor. Yeah, I call them the usual suspects down there.
Yeah.
But that is happening. With the project management consulting service, that submittal is due on the 25th. We are massaging it so that it can fit within the framework that the city is creating to oversee the recovery. And so we have it out there. It says A, but by the time that we hire the consultant, it probably will be B, but it will be within the framework of the recovery. But we do see the real need to be sure that we can manage the overall activities of the economic development portion of this recovery and make sure that we can take advantage of this opportunity. The last thing is the tornado response. Can we go to the next slide? Within the tornado recovery area, there were over 1,000 businesses that we canvassed, and out of that came, I think on your reports there, you can see that we were able to look at it both from the ward perspective and also the neighborhood perspective. But you can see by this map, where the impact area is by just looking at the number of businesses that are clustered together there. You do see, even in South St. Louis, some businesses that had wind damage that reported to us. We were able to confirm those. So we do have, so I call it a scatter shot in the south, but a concentration in the north. The next slide, please. I apologize for this. So in the future, when you guys do slides, just make sure we have one chart on. I hate small. Okay, so this should have been 2 slides, but essentially what we have here is on the left, I believe it is by neighborhood. On the right, it is a summary by ward. And you can see the number of wards, see the ward number that was most impacted there. So that said, we have a good database of the impact that we have with our businesses. I know today the license collector is sponsoring an event to support businesses. We will have an event also, but we're working with Laura and the LDC board to come to a final agreement on what our loan program will look like. And so at our next meeting, we can give some results on what that is. So our goal here is to provide some assistance to the businesses, and the recovery. The last announcement I have is that, we worked over the years to support the NGA staying in the city of St. Louis. And finally, we understand that they will have their ribbon cutting, ceremony on September 26th this year. And so that's a big day for us, here in the city. And so, just wanted to bring that to the attention of the board.
I just want to say, when you think about, when you had that map, that scatter map and all the dots on the top, I flew in over the city, a couple days ago. And everything, all the blue tarps, all over the place. It's an absolutely amazing sight to see that. And, you know, at first glance, you're like, it's all those swimming pools. No, those old swimming pools, tarps. It really hit hard.
I know Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard here, can attest to this. I mean, it has been hit hard, and it is a testament to the neighbors, to the neighborhood, to the citizens, and to the volunteers. You know, that we are where we are, but we have so much further to go. Yeah. All right, any questions or comments to me?
I just had a quick question. Do we have any update or, if not this meeting, the next meeting, can we have an update on what's the path forward on the Killard building?
Okay, Monarch.
Monarch, but it used to be Monarch. Okay. I always get that mixed up because people try to explain it to me like that, and I try to say, I try to think Monarch, and I always say Killard. I'm sorry.
We will.
Okay.
We'll put that on.
It's currently being used as a warehouse for donations, supplies. And we did receive bids to do renovate the lower one-story section of the building, but we put that on pause during the interim. While it's being used as a warehouse, so.
But I think it's a larger issue, which is what are we doing along that corridor? We'll speak to that next time. Yeah.
I had another quick question about that because I was at a meeting and I've always heard about the building, but I had no idea about the land. So do you all own, or we, I guess, own all of that land south of the building? Somebody said it was like the size of several football fields or something behind the building.
No, it's about 3 acres.
Okay.
But we do, so
Okay.
there's an alley between the north section of that block and the south section. We own almost the entire southern section, except for 1 or 2 small parcels in the southeast corner. I think at least one of those buildings was demolished, single-family home. We own a majority of the property on the north side of MLK from Vandeventer, although not at the corner of Vandeventer, which I'd really like to own. There's a auto repair business, I believe, there. Going west over to Sarah, we own a significant portion of the frontage on MLK. And then LRA owns a great number of properties even farther north and some south of that. So we acquired 30 additional parcels besides the main Killard where the building sits. So it's quite a bit of land.
And in that area, we do have a housing initiative that we have that is to the north of MLK. So if you look at the Monarch building and then cross the street and go north, we are working with a housing initiative there to try and look at providing more homes. We're using a partnership, public-private partnership, try and make that work. And so I think it's probably one of the things we probably need to do is to brief the board again about the partnership that we have and how it fits into our overall scheme.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, our next regular board meeting is scheduled August 21st, 2025. And may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, you're adjourned.
Thank you.
Nancy, if you have